Welcome to DT Performance. Thanks for stopping in. Today is going to be another quick video on the B&M Magnum Grip Pro Stick Shifter. I'm going to show you what comes in the box. I'm going to show you a little trick that I found on some micro switches that might help some of you guys out. So stick around and let's get started. Okay, you guys know I'm not much on unboxing, but here's the box it came in. Here's the part number, 81104. And what you get with the Magnum Grip Pro Stick Shifter from B&M, you get your brackets for multiple different transmissions, and those are covered in this detailed instruction manual. You can see here which transmissions this will fit, and if you order an additional parts, it will tell you what you need to fit all these transmissions. And I can leave this up here for just a second. You can stop the video and look. But basically, I bought it for the Turbo 400. If you've been keeping up with the channel, that's what we're going to be installing this on. You get a few electrical connections, butt splices, spade connectors, your shifter cable that hooks, or the linkage that hooks to the transmission itself. These are the spacers I showed in my last video for your brackets to space it off of a steel pan. You get a few E-clips. That one of them goes on the shifter cable end that mounts to the shifter itself. The mounting screws for the micro switch, and that's going to be one of the important things I talk about here in just a second. Your reverse lockout, anodized, nice neat little switch or handle, your mounting hardware, and then you get your pattern decal, whether you're running a forward pattern, park, reverse, neutral, drive, second, first, or reverse manual. Valve body is what I'm running, so mine would be park, reverse, neutral, 1, 2, 3, going backwards. So mine would be 1, 2, 3, going backwards. So that's everything you get. You get your cover with your quick release pins, and these bushings here are, if you're not using the quick release plate, I would show you a picture of that, but I don't have a picture, and I don't own a picture. And if I steal one off the internet, I could be copywriting somebody else's photo. So look that up. But basically, these pins will go right through here and fit this plate perfectly. The quick release just bolts to your shifter mount plate, and it's got a plate that you can just unpin this entire shifter off of that. So with all that, we know what it is, what it fits, what's in the box. So the next thing, I'm pretty resourceful. This shifter only comes with one micro switch. And what that micro switch does, if you can see these raised portions here, I call them cams. They are for your neutral lockout and your park. So when you put this on here, you can see these indentions. When it's sitting in this state, it tells the vehicle, or it tells the starter it's okay to start when it's in park or neutral. What you're going to need is an additional switch to make this raised portion for your reverse lights. And I'll stick this bracket on here really quick, and I'll show you what I did. So this just goes on here. I'll just put this in finger tight, just one screw, and it comes with the two mounting, these two small number 4 bolts right here, or screws if you want to call them that. It comes with the two that will go through this. So what's going to happen is when you get ready to put your reverse switch on here, and I went online and found these online. Again, I'll leave the part number in the description. You're going to stack these up, and they are going to mount on this plate just like this. So now you have one that will make your reverse up here at the top. You will have to go to your local hardware store, or you can even order these online when you order these switches. I bought a 2-pack of these, just like this. And I went down to Lowe's. You could get it, like, again, your local hardware store or Home Depot, or anywhere. But you're going to need some number 4. These are 40 by 1 1/4 long, so these are going to be way too long. By the time I drop these 2 screws through these limit switches, you put them on this bracket, you can see they're going to be way too long. So we're going to have to trim those off. But basically, for those of you that may not know what a normally closed switch is, the one that comes with the B&M shifter, this black one, you can see it has two connectors on it. And if you can see, if I can get it up here where you can see, maybe in the light, you've got one that's called common, NC, and NO. And I'll just demonstrate for you what that means. So if we're looking at this switch, we've got the switch, we've got the button, we've got our, it shows to be NC and then NO, and then what we have is a common, COM. So common, the reason this is called common, let me zoom down where you can see a little better. The reason this terminal is called common is because it shares connection between both of these. This again is our normally open, this is normally closed. And what that means in its natural state, when it's not working, when you're not pressing this button, which contact is it making? Now some of these switches have the extra spade here so you can wire it either way. But internally this thing is actually got a connection between common and normally closed. And let's just pretend that this is our reverse light switch. So this, we're going to put our spade connector on here. We're going to go out to our reverse lights. And of course your reverse lights go to ground somewhere. Now, when I depress this button or when I pull this shifter back and it makes this cam right here, when that cam depresses the button on this micro switch, this has a mechanical connection that's actually going to shift it to connect it to here. So if this is our 12 volts from our battery, it's going to send power through here. It's going to light up our light, our reverse lights, or if it's the neutral safety switch, it's going to tell the starter, hey, it's okay to go into to start the truck in park or neutral. And I can show you these that I have. I've got just a cheap Craftsman meter here. These that I have actually have the spade. It looks like it's been, not installed from the factory, but you can get them with 3 spades. Just make sure if you get the ones with 3 spades, you connect your wires to the correct terminal, or you could accidentally start it in any gear. But I've got my meter set to continuity beep, which means when I touch my leads, you can hear that audible tone and you'll get a reading on your meter. Now it is, so I'm going to go to my common and I'm going to go to my open contacts. If I can get those, come on now, get in there. Okay, now since that is open, when I depress this switch, that's going to tell my truck it's either in reverse or neutral, depending on which one I have it hooked to. Now remember, I told you have some that have the 3rd spade on them, which is normally closed, which means when this is in its natural state, these contacts should be touching without me depressing this button. And then when I depress the button, and that's a good way you can check a switch too. Not only to determine if it's normally open or normally closed, but if it's actually getting continuity or making contact through the switch. I hope that makes sense. That's just a basic, quick explanation of normally open, normally closed, and how these switches work. Again, you can buy the B&M kit that comes with this extra switch and longer screws. I just sourced mine from the internet. I actually bought a 2-pack. You can look it up when I put the link in the description. You can get a 2-pack and throw one in your toolbox for a spare. And one more thing before I let you go. I told you that you could run this with a power glide or reverse manual valve body. You'll have to have an additional plate, and this is the one I ordered for my Turbo 400. It's a 80710, and you can see it's a reverse pattern. So that means I will go from park, reverse, neutral, 1, 2, 3, going when I pull the shifter back. So it's basically take a couple of screws out or bolts out, E-clip here, and this thing fits right on here, and now I've got a shift pattern that I need for my valve body. So if you've got a 2-speed transmission, you'll have to order one for a power glide or a different, they make all kinds of plates for them. So with that, we'll end out the video. One last thing I almost forgot, the buttons. So you got 2 buttons on the handle, and the combinations are endless. This could be a trans brake, it could be a line lock, it could be a nitrous purge button, it could even be a one-touch nitrous button if you wanted to activate right off the handle. So if you like this kind of content, guys, leave me a like. Let me know about the kind of shifters that you guys use. You ever use one of these? Do you like it? This would be my first rodeo with this type of shifter. So as always, thanks for stopping in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.